Hi everyone, and welcome back to Learn English with Christy. In today's video, I'm going to focus on academic English, and we're going to be discussing many of the English verb tenses. So if you're someone who is familiar with the verb tenses, but you just need a little bit of a review, this is the video for you. So let's go ahead and begin. So today we're going to go through many of the English verb tenses. We're going to talk about the simple present, the present continuous, the simple past, the past continuous, future using will and be going to, and then we're going to also talk about the present perfect. This will be just a review of each of these tenses, but I will be making more videos with each of these tenses with a lot more details in them. In the review, we're going to talk about why and when we use these tenses. We're also going to talk about how we form these tenses, and I'm going to be providing some examples for each one. Let's begin with the simple present. With the simple present tense, we have 3 different times that we can use this. The first time we can use it is when we want to talk about some kind of permanent state or fact. Another time that we use the simple present is when we want to discuss a routine or something that we do every day or usually. And the last reason that we can use the simple present is to talk about a planned future event. Let's go ahead and look at some examples. So the first reason we can use the simple present is to talk about a fact or a permanent state. So for example, we can say, we live in New York. We can also say, he works at the hospital, or water freezes at 0 degrees. So another way that we can use the simple present is when we want to talk about a routine or something that we usually do, maybe every day. So for example, we can say something like, I drink coffee every morning, or he goes to school every day, or the students study on Tuesdays. And we can also use the simple present to talk about a planned future event. So for example, we can say something like, my flight leaves tomorrow at 4 p.m. or Jimmy plays tennis at 2 p.m. Another example, we can say, I start my duty tomorrow morning. So something about these examples, I want you to look at these examples here, and I want you to notice that when we use the third person, so he, she, or it, we're adding an S at the end of the verb. When we say it with you, I, we, or they, we do not need to have that S. So try to keep that in mind. So let's move on to the present continuous. We use the present continuous when we want to talk about something that is happening now. And how do we form the present continuous? We form this by using a be verb and then adding ing to the verb. So we can say something like, I am teaching right now. You are listening right now. He is learning right now. So we're using the continuous when we're talking about now. So we need to have a be verb, and then we add our verb plus ing to make the present continuous. So let's move on and talk about the simple past. With the simple past, we use this verb tense when we want to talk about something that has happened already and it's completely finished. In the simple past, there are a lot of irregular verbs, but for today's video, we're only going to discuss the regular verbs. And in the regular verbs, the way that we form the simple past is by adding ed. So let's look at some examples. We can say something like, the students attended the class yesterday. So the class is finished. Another example, the baby played with her toys this morning. And another example, Sarah worked in the office all day on Friday. So you can see from all of these examples that they are all completely finished. Events from the past. So now let's move into the past continuous. With this verb tense, we use it when we want to talk about an action that was continuous in the past. Or we can also use it to tell some kind of story. Like the present continuous, the past continuous has a similar rule. You're going to be using the be verb and you're adding ing to the verb. But instead of is, am, or are, we're going to be using was or were, which makes it in the past. But we're still adding ing to our verb. So for example, we can say, she was swimming all day yesterday. So it's something that happened in the past, but it was a continuous action. Another example, we can say, they were eating dinner when their mother arrived. So again, this is something that they were doing. It was a continuous action, but it's also kind of telling some kind of story. There's probably more to that. They were eating dinner when their mother arrived. Now let's go ahead and let's talk about the future. With the future, we can use two different things to talk about the future. So first, we can use be going to, and we can also use will. These two may seem confusing because they are both expressing the future, but there are some rules on using going to, and there are some rules to use will. Let's take a look at those rules now. So first, let's start with going to. We use it to talk about predictions or when we want to talk about future plans or intentions about the future. So some examples with predictions, we can say she is going to get an A in this course. Another prediction, they are going to arrive late to the party. So those are two examples that are talking about predictions for the future. So we can also use be going to when we want to talk about a future plan or a future intention. So for example, we can say something like, we are going to go to the beach this weekend. Or we can say something like, I am going to have dinner with my friends tonight. Both of these are talking about future plans and intentions, something that you are intending to do in the future. So another way that we can talk about the future is by using will. So when can we use will? We can use will when we want to talk about a future fact. So for example, we can say something like, Ibrahim will turn 2 years old next week. Another example, the exam will be next week. So these are both future facts. Now with will, we can also use will for some predictions. So for example, there will be a vaccination soon. So another time that we would use will is when you're saying a decision in the moment of speaking. So for example, if you're having a conversation and you want to say, I will help you, or I will drive you, you made that decision at that moment. Another time that we would use will is when you're offering something or promising something. So for example, you can say something like, I will help you with your homework. You're offering. Or you can say, I will take you to the store later. You're offering to take that person to some place. So you're offering your help or you're promising something to that person. We can also use will when we're asking someone to do something for us. So we can say something like, will you buy me some milk at the store? And the last reason that we use will to talk about the future is when we're accepting something or when we're refusing something. So if we say, yes, I will, or no, I will not, or for short, no, I won't. So those are the two ways that we can express the future. We can use be going to, and we can use will, but each of them have their own rules. So the last verb tense that we're going to discuss in today's video is the present perfect. The present perfect is one of the more difficult tenses of the English language, so make sure to watch out for another video on this topic. So when do we use the present perfect? We can use the present perfect in different ways. I'm just going to discuss two of the main ways that we do. The first reason that we use the present perfect is when we started something in the past and it's still happening now. So it started before, but we're still doing it at this moment. And the other reason that we can use the present perfect is, again, if we started something in the past, but it actually still has importance today. So how do we form the present perfect? We form the present perfect by having have or has. It depends on your subject. So have and has plus the past participle. This is how we form it. So I said that one way we can use the present perfect is something that started in the past and it's still true now. So one example for that is, I have worked as a teacher for 10 years. I started teaching almost 10 years ago and I'm still teaching now. I'm still working as a teacher. So this is a case where I would need to use the present perfect. Something started in the past and it's still the case right now. I'm still working as a teacher. And an example for something that happened in the past and it's still important now, we can say something like, she has lost her wallet. So we would use the present perfect because, yes, she lost her wallet and it's gone, but it's still important today because maybe she lost a lot of money, or maybe she lost her IDs and she has to work to get those IDs back. So it's a problem today. So that's why we would use the present perfect in this case. There are other details and more reasons that we would use the present perfect, but since today's video is only a review, I'm just going to talk about those for now. So I know that was a lot of information for one video, but I hope that today's video gave you some review of the English language verb tenses. I'm going to be making more videos that have more details of each verb tense, so make sure to watch out for those videos soon. Go ahead and let me know in the comments which verb tense is the easiest for you. Which one do you not have any issues with? If you like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up, and also if you can hit the subscribe button, and I'll keep making these videos to help you improve on your English skills. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye for now.